Okay, so it seems like this Face Connect situation is getting pretty out of hand at the moment, and it's one of these things that I never really expected to blow up to this kind of level with the whole Jilly Hoshiyumi situation. I thought it was going to be one of these things that people get angry at and then maybe forget about in a week, right? And but it seems like this is blowing up even more with a lot of people going after Face Connect members and stuff, and even spreading a lot of misinformation about it. Because don't get me wrong, I don't like a lot of what Face Connect is doing, and you know, the statement that they put out about Jelly, all of that kind of stuff. But I also think as well, going after some of the other talent and spreading misinformation about them is pretty crazy, and it shows you the kind of people that Face Connect are kind of, you know, as people say, bending the knee to. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through some of the stuff that people have been spreading over on Twitter, because again, I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And as I said, these are the people that they're kind of pandering, not the VTubers, but Face Connect is pandering to with the statements and the actions that they've taken. Obviously, if you guys don't know everything that happened, obviously Face Connect has been in a bit of drama recently surrounding Jelly Hoshiyumi's tweet essentially about kind of the Minecraft DLC, which included some civil rights movements and stuff. It was an optional DLC which you could just download for free, so it wasn't like put into the game like, you know, on like the base version of the game, which a lot of people have been pointing out. But yeah, obviously this ended up blowing up even further with it then being deleted. And then Face Connect then making a big statement, which obviously inflamed a lot of people, because yeah, people weren't very happy with the fact that, you know, this had been so, I guess, you know, covered by them, and made, you know, a lot of people kind of put eyes on the situation even further, which, yeah, obviously people aren't happy, as well as we had the kind of graduation of Kaminari Clara, who will be graduating at the end of the month as well, which a lot of people have brought up within this entire situation, because she also did say some stuff on a personal account about like the Charlie Kirk stuff, which a lot of people were pretty mad at, because they made a statement about Jelly's stuff but not a statement about Kaminari Clara's stuff, despite it, although it was on a, you know, personal account, so I can understand why they didn't. But again, it seems like they've been going after some of the other members though, including Lumi, who we had up at the start of this stream here. And this is one of the big posts that I kind of wanted to cover, because I thought it's pretty ridiculous the amount of misinformation that is being spread, right? And it all comes from this one post here of a 2-second clip. Now, I'm probably not going to play this version. I'll play you the full version so you can get the full context. But essentially, they've taken this clip out of context pretty massively. They're saying this is in response to the statement that they put about Jelly, by the way. So essentially, these people, you know, have been trying to get, you know, Jelly cancelled or whatever, and, you know, Face Connect have essentially bent the knee to them and said, okay, yeah, sure, and then obviously deleted the tweet and made a statement on it, and now they're trying to push even further by trying to call out different VTubers and things. And this one says, you know, Face Connect doesn't tolerate racism, yet here's one of their talents saying the N-word. Just one of the, it's just one among a lot of bigotry that the company is famous for. Now, again, this is the kind of misinformation that is being spread, because let's play the full clip here, which I actually uploaded in response to this, where Lumi is talking about her degree.
About my master's degree, let's just say it sounds cooler than it is. It's worthless, stupid fucking degree. It sounds cooler than it sounds cool.
So yeah, obviously whenever you see this clip, you understand the full context that she's saying degree, and she cuts herself off. Now, this sounds pretty bad, right? It does sound bad, and I think that everybody can kind of notice that with, you know, looking at it. The way that she pauses it, it does very much sound like the N-word. And, you know, if you do clip it out of context, like this person has, it does actually sound like she is saying it. But if you add in the context about what she's talking about her degree, and then she stops, you know, saying degree halfway through, and then it ends up sounding like the N-word, right? And of course, with the context, you can tell that there is no reason for her to be saying this. There's no reason for her to be saying the N-word. There's no reason for her to be kind of doing that when she is talking about her degree, right? So again, I think it's crazy that some people are trying to spread this, because essentially they did cut down this clip into a 2-second clip to make it sound like she did say it, right?
Stupid fucking degree. Stupid.
So again, obviously she's saying degree, but she kind of stops halfway through, and obviously I don't even want to say it because it does sound bad, right? And it is one of these things where sometimes, you know, sometimes what people say it can kind of, you know, end up sounding like another thing if you stop halfway through or whatever. But again, with the added context, it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no, like, you know, kind of big thing from this, because she obviously did not intend to make that kind of sound. But obviously it was just kind of unfortunate that happened. But this person is obviously trying to go around and spread the fact that, not the fact, to say spread like the misinformation that they said it, which obviously just is not the case, especially with the added context as I showed you. This got 1k likes, by the way, which I find pretty concerning that some people can't actually point out the differences in it. And again, there has been people in my comments be like, yeah, it does sound like it, right? And the captions also kind of thought it did say that. But again, it is one of those things where it's an unfortunate kind of speech thing, right? That happens all the time. And not necessarily just for the M word, by the way. It could be any other word, not like something not even offensive or whatever. Just any word, it can end up sounding like something else. And, you know, it happens every you know, all the time in everyday life. And I think, you know, it's pretty stupid to be claiming that someone is saying this stuff when it is clear they are not. And if they did, of course, well, you know, why aren't they banned, right? Why aren't they banned off of the platform? Why hasn't FaZe Connect made a statement about it and whatever? Because it didn't happen, right? It's not she didn't say that. She obviously meant something else. And again, lots of people have been commenting on it, you know, as well. There's also another kind of reply here, including this one saying, or here, alluding to using slurs regularly, which obviously has a Pipkin Pipper clip here. So this is the one that they've uploaded too.
I use a couple. What? Yeah, I use a couple gamer words, not all of the gamer words. I have not said a single gamer word, by the way.
I'm very proud of you, Lumi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I almost cracked earlier when I was playing Metal Gear, and I said maybe some of the words, but I haven't cracked yet, so pretty good.
What gamer word? There's no winning way to answer this, Lumi. The R one? Retard.
I said it a lot, though.
Oh.
Am I that yab?
Yeah, you're pretty fucking yab, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah?
How do I get away with it every time?
I don't know.
So yeah, obviously, you know, the clip, this one I can understand maybe a little bit more people wouldn't like, right? Because this one is actually a real clip. It isn't like taken out of context. It isn't like this one clip where they are essentially just kind of twisting exactly what she was saying and everything before that clip, right? And of course they are talking about gamer words, which is just a very, you know, edgy joke. And I think that has been a thing with FaZe Connect for a little while. Now, of course, in recent times, they've kind of been stepping away from that a little bit, right? And it seems like they're becoming more and more, I don't know, like PG or friendly, or I don't know like how you describe it, right? But again, you know, it is a pretty edgy joke, and of course, you know, I don't know, lots of people being like, oh no, the horror, you know, how horrible, think of the children, that's wholesome as hell, oh, she is very cute based, and again, lots of people were like, oh no, okay, you know, whatever, and people said, yeah, that's called humor, try it sometimes, it might make you less miserable. And I do think, yeah, you know, it's a joke, right? And of course, you know, it's a common joke, especially in the kind of gaming space, because we all know with a lot of kind of, you know, stuff like Call of Duty lobbies and stuff, people always say, you know, oh, I've dropped a couple of words on there or whatever, which, again, I think is crazy. But of course, some people make those jokes, and that is a common joke that people kind of, you know, throw around. And of course, you know, if you want to hate them over that, sure. But again, I just don't think it's really that big of a deal, right? It's just like a common thing that people say. And of course, people try to hold them to a higher standard because they're VTubers or whatever, and they think they're like perfect and pure or whenever they're supposed to not say these kind of things or whatever. But that's why people like them so much, is the fact that, hey, you know, they actually say stuff like this and make jokes like this, which, you know, any other streamer would say. And I don't think they would really get any backlash unless they were like a super friendly kind of whatever streamer that never did any of that kind of stuff, I guess. But, you know, for your average streamer who's not afraid of making jokes and things, I feel like they won't get any backlash over this. But of course, because it's FaZe Connect, because it's VTubers, you know, people like to inflame it a lot more. Now, obviously, going back to the original clip, the 2-second one about Lumi, people have been responding to this saying, why did you lie? Why did you only post 1 second of it? Why are you a terrible piece of shit, waste of space on this planet that will forever just be a burden to society? society, and we know you'll never amount to anything, because people who do this amount to something do not post 1-second clips lying like this on X over strangers, which is true. And obviously a lot of people saying, you know, get a job. People posted powder there saying that sounds weirdly cut. I doubt that's real. And of course, you know, obviously a lot of people have been following up with the full clip. I can't actually see any of them in here. Again, there's some pretty crazy replies there, by the way. Of course, there's going to be a couple of people mixed in there that are commenting some pretty horrible stuff. But again, I haven't actually seen any of the you know, responses, because I swear I did see a couple of people posting the full context. Okay, they didn't hide it either. That's crazy. But I actually did quote retweet it with the full context clip here, with the 30-second you know, full thing where she's talking about her degree, and obviously, yeah, kind of stops in her words. And yeah, people saying like, does show the type of people that FaZe bent the knee to, though, which is 100% true, right? These are the kind of people, the ones making this tweet are the ones that were going after Jelly and stuff like that, essentially asking for them to be removed or whatever, or getting outraged at them. And these are the people that FaZe have obviously listened to and removed the post and all of that kind of stuff. And now they're pushing for more. And I mentioned this in my last video, right? It's a cycle. It is a cycle where a lot of people, of course, you know, they get one thing and then they want another and another and another, until obviously FaZe Connect becomes this kind of, I guess, very plain, just like any other VTuber agency kind of company, which I just don't think they are, right? I think we all know that they have always been on the little bit of an edgier side, right? Which is something, as I said, that people like. That is an audience that they are tapping into. And of course, I think they're kind of stepping away from it a bit now, which obviously disappoints a lot of people too. Again, there's been so many people talking about the FaZe Connect stuff in total. People saying, let's all laugh at the industry that never learns anything. And obviously, yeah, these are like some more people saying, aha, they got my report, you losers, screw you, screw you, screw you. Say Clara won, Awoke won, which again is crazy, because of course, yeah, they're saying like essentially they reported the stuff that was going on with Jelly, and these are the kind of people that are doing this kind of stuff, and that FaZe is yeah, bending the knee to, right? And I think it is pretty crazy that, you know, these are the people that they're listening to, because obviously this person just wants to kind of cause as much, I guess, you know, problems as they possibly can. And now I do think it's quite funny because they say Clara won, and obviously this was an hour after the FaZe Connect announcement came out, and we all know what happened to Clara a couple hours later. I don't know if she necessarily won, but you know. And of course as well, people have also been bringing up Pippa as well. There's an old Pippa reply from 2022, which I saw a lot of people reposting and retweeting and bringing up now, saying public apologies are stupid. Only apologize one-on-one to the individuals involved if there is any. Apologies don't magically make you a good person. They won't clear your name. You're only stoking the flames. If you actually did something wrong, then actually try to do better, which obviously people are bringing up in response to the kind of FaZe Connect public apology, which I do think is quite funny. And of course, I don't think, you know, obviously Pippa didn't write this statement herself. It's not like she's the one doing this, but you know, it is pretty funny that some of the talents are even pointing out you know, things way before it has happened, and the problems with doing statements like this. Now of course, I think there is a very mixed bag, I think, of opinions in terms of what has been going on at the moment. So again, keep an open mind whenever it comes to this kind of stuff, because you know, there's going to be many people that are trying to instigate and I guess make you know, problems for a lot of the FaZe Connect members, including people like Lumi, as we have seen, right? I think you know, she has been unfairly targeted, especially with that fake clip, and of course this was what was going to happen with the statement, right? We all said this. We all said this is why this statement was such a bad idea, was because they're going to go and target other FaZe Connect members. And guess what? It did happen, right? You know, I made that video yesterday saying like, hey, it's not that great because, you know, people are going to go after them. And then literally, you know, probably not an hour or so later, you know, they go and post this clip about Lumi, which I think is crazy. And it's funny how like predictable some of these people are. Now, obviously this person isn't the only one. There's a couple of others as well that have been going around and essentially making these kind of posts and things, going after other talents, making them look even worse. And as I said, you know, I don't think what FaZe Connect are doing in terms of the statement and everything like that, I don't think is good, right? But I do also think that a lot of the members deserve at least the kind of, you know, clarity of having the correct stuff said about them, rather than people making stuff up about this, right? Because again, you can hate FaZe Connect, you can hate what they're doing, and obviously I've seen a lot of people removing merch and removing kind of tickets, and I think they had FaZeCon coming up, and a lot of people not going to that anymore, which again is understandable, right? Because they're unhappy with the situation. But let's not attack, you know, the talents here, I think it is mainly an issue with the you know, the people in charge. Obviously, I don't know how much Sakana is involved. I'm sure he's probably quite heavily involved, considering he is the, you know, CEO. But again, obviously, there's probably other board or whatever, or you know, higher up people involved as well, in terms of getting out this statement and stuff that people are so angry with. So again, I think it is one of these things where, yeah, I don't think these talents should be getting attacked. I don't think any of them should be getting attacked, including Jelly, including literally all of them, right? I think it's crazy, right? And yeah, I mean, it is just a very unfortunate situation that has been going on, and it's enabled a lot of people on Twitter to essentially farm as much as they possibly can in terms of poorly kind of clipped cutoffs and everything like that, to make people look terrible, which obviously is not the case, and we've proved it in this video, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially everything that is going on with this. Of course, as I said, this has blown up pretty massively over the past couple of days, and there's so many different angles to kind of cover about this. So again, I'll try my best to cover anything else that does come out about this, whether it's about Lumi, Phase Connect, Jelly, any of these people, right, that I've talked about today. We will be talking about it. But yeah, I did find that pretty crazy that some people are trying to take this opportunity to kind of slander, I guess, a lot of these people, and kind of, I guess, what do you call it, like mix the truth up, which obviously is something that usually happens whenever there is this like big drama, controversy, or whatever that has been going on. But yeah, that's essentially all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kazo, get 10% off again. They've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.